Yeah, I heard you looked like a greaser last night.
Yeah, dude. Total greaser. That's me. Anyways.
Can we start you in the double greaser flex league?
Double. Oh, dude.
Wow, Tyler
Bro,
Jr. over there.
dude, it's not even me this time.
I fucked up. My bad.
Damn.
Dude, it's because you rushed me, man. You rushed
Is that how
me.
you guys feel when every time my phone goes off? Because I just
Yeah.
instantly hated you.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this guy.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Because I hate you, dude.
Shit. All right. I'll just keep my phone off from now on every time.
Crazy, dude. I look like a lesbian right now.
All right. Let's go over this Thursday night game. So we learned that Eli Manning's career is over. He sucks. He's terrible.
He has to like full on body shot put the ball to get like 30 yards. It looks like.
Yeah. He looks like that Muppet. I don't know. Would you call them beepers? Bleakers?
Jeepers?
No.
Beepers?
He knew it. He knew it. It's the orange dude.
I think I know it. I thought it was. Isn't it Beepers?
Beepers or something. I don't know. He looks like that Muppet guy. I think you had the best thing, Mike. The third and down syndrome.
Yeah. It's fucked up, dude. I don't know if we should tell the people on the podcast about it, but he does look a little special every time he misses a third down, and he
He's
looks
just,
like
I don't know.
he looks around like to see if it's anybody else's fault, but ultimately it's always his.
Oh, it's Beaker.
Beaker. Yeah, he does.
I knew it was something like that.
Google it. Eli Manning and then Google Beaker. And they look exactly like. So
If you learn anything in this podcast, you learn that Adam Gase looks like Chicken Run, and Eli Manning looks like Beakers.
and Mike looks like an idiot.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Or I mean a greaser.
I'm gonna go kill myself really quick.
All right,
for sure.
Tight. So if you go on ZipRecruiter, we're gonna have an opening for the podcast. We need a scientist/tech guy since Mike's gonna go kill himself.
Let's see how good ZipRecruiter really is, since they're plugged in every other podcast.
All right, so yeah, Thursday night game. Eli Manning sucks. One thing to his defense, though, he was getting rushed and hit like every play. It seemed like his blind side, he was just getting blasted. Like he would hike it and he was like running around like Adam Gase with his head cut off.
Yeah, there's not a lot of time with that O line wasn't good coming into this year. They picked up a few pieces, and those pieces are helping, but it's still not it's a bottom 10 line. And where Eli Manning is at this point in his career, you know, he's never been a mobile quarterback to begin with, but you know, he's not going to be able to get out of the pocket and, you know, make moves with his legs and throw the ball down the field at this point. So if that line can't keep defenders off him, he's gonna struggle all year long.
For sure. So the lone bright spot on the team, Shaquan Barkley. I feel like I always
Is it
say his
Saquon
last
or
name.
Shaquan?
Shaquan, whatever. Barkley. The guy was
Barkley.
balling. So that guy, he good.
He fast.
Yeah, he fast. He make other people look.
He made
not
that
fast.
safety just like, I think he was surprised. The safety was surprised how fast he is because he just ran and the safety was like, oh fuck, he's gone.
I wonder how many broken tackles. He had to have at
Yeah,
least 10
he
broken
shedded a lot of tackles in that
Dude,
game
he had like
too.
5 on one play.
Dude, yeah, that guy was human highlight
It
reel
was-
last night.
It was like that 9-yard run he got, and he broke like 4 tackles in one
Dude,
play.
yeah, he was like double hurdled, bro. Yeah, that guy's something else. I
And-
don't care what anyone says about like the Giants making a mistake taking him at number 2. They should have took a quarterback. There's quarterbacks every year. I mean, but to get a talent like that, they can get a quarterback next year and they'll be just fine. I mean, it can't get any worse than Eli Manning.
You're right.
So Odell kind of had a down game. Starting a temper tantrum over there. He's doing his gay Odell stuff that he does. I mean, you have to like start him every week. You drafted him in the first round, second round. I mean, you just got to start him. Take the hits as they come. Sterling Shepard is coming off 2 good games. I started Sterling Shepard in the league because I saw a stat that he's scored every single game in his 4 career games against the Eagles. He put up a dud this game. I think it was like 3 for 32 or something like that. He did have 2 red zone targets. So when Eli missed him on a pass, that could have been like a 30-yard gain. So the potential for a good game was there, but yeah, he had a down game.
Yeah, the potential doesn't count for fantasy owners, unfortunately.
I'm just trying to.
Something I'm kind of worried about with Odell is the lack of Eli Manning being a good quarterback at this point. I think you have to make the adjustment to. I don't think Odell's going to be, at least this year, that double-digit type of touchdown guy he's been in the past. I don't think he's scored through. Has 1 touchdown or 0 through 5
I
games
think he
now?
might have one, at least one.
I think he has 1
Would
touchdown.
if you have Odell, would you trade him away right
I mean,
now?
I wouldn't be trading him away. You're going to be trading him at his lowest point. Like, I mean, someone's going to try and people are going to be trying to buy low on him, so you're not going to get the value you should for Odell. So I don't think I'd be trading him at this point. unless you're stacked at receiver and you want to make a lateral move for a good running back. Like if someone would do Odell for Melvin Gordon, I'd do that possibly. But I mean, you're going to be selling low on Odell if you try and sell him is most likely outcome.
I don't think anybody's going to offer that though.
That's the only way I would trade him laterally. But you're going to probably get offers of like RB2s. You might be like someone. All right, I'll give you Jordan Howard for Odell. I mean, those are probably like the offers you're going to be looking at. Just because the performances haven't been like Odell.
I would take like Jordan. Like at this point, if I had Odell, I would take like Jordan Howard and like Eckler for Odell.
I don't think I would. I
would. I mean, I just personally, I would do that. Like I would try and salvage something out of it. It's just the way Eli Manning's literally throwing it fucking 8 yards, man. Like
I mean, he's
throwing
still
it behind the line of scrimmage. I swear, I don't know the stats, but I guarantee you, he's throwing behind the line of scrimmage like 40% of the time. More than that, 50% of the time, probably.
For me, I mean, just looking at like we were saying, like the Giants' O-line is just not good. So, in the Eagles' front seven, they're good. You know, they got some studs over there. They got Michael Bennett. They got Chris Long, I think his name is.
Fletcher Cox, man.
Fletcher Cox. They got some good linebackers. They drafted a rookie last year. I think it's Barnett or something like that. So, they have a good line. So, I think what it is maybe when they're playing against teams with good defensive lines, that maybe Odell might suffer because Eli's not getting any time to throw the ball. But Odell be a guy I'd be trying to buy in the low, especially if you have if you already have like an AJ Green or like a Julio Jones, Devontae Adams, like one of those guys. If I can grab an Odell and Odell be my 2, then it's like, all right, now I don't have to expect Odell to come out here and put up these huge numbers because I already have like a solid 1. Odell could be my 2, but if they both boom in a week, those 2 receivers, let alone, could win you a matchup possibly. So.
Yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is, I mean, he still has 300-yard games, and that's still 11 receptions in that game, 9 receptions, 8 plus the 1 touchdown he scored. So I don't think I'd be trading him for Jordan Howard plus Eckler. Plus Eckler is at like his touchdown rate is insane. I don't think it's going to continue. I'd actually sell high on Eckler right now, and Jordan Howard actually worries me a little bit. But I think the point I was trying to make is I don't think he's a top 5 option where he used to be. When you drafted him, he was a top 5 option, and everyone in the fantasy whatever would agree he was a top 5 option. I think he's more of a top 10, 15 option now. He's kind of just taking a little bit of a hit. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's still going to have some great weeks. I just don't think he's that elite top 5 option. He's more neck and neck with like AJ Green at this point, and some of those receivers.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump to the other side of the ball. So the Eagles, Wentz looked good. He looked like he was kind of back in that MVP form. I think I saw a stat where he was like, on third down, he was like 10 of 11 or something 13 of 14 on third downs conversions, which is crazy good. So you're starting him every week. I mean, he looks like he's back up to par of where he was last year. Let's talk about the running backs. What do you guys think about them? Because I know you guys had each of them going last night.
I think we both had Clement.
Oh, yeah.
Clement.
Yeah, I had Clement. I kept getting frustrated with Wendell Smallwood because he just was getting so many touches. But, I mean, Clement's just he ended up getting the fantasy production when it comes down to it.
Yeah, there was a report that came out. It was a Fox News reporter. I saw it on Twitter because I check Twitter before the games too, because a lot of times you'll get insight, like kind of telling you, like they'll talk to the coaches on the field and then they'll give their feedback. And she basically came back and said that Corey Clement was going to be on a pitch count in this game because they wanted to see what type of game shape he was in because he hadn't played in the last, I think, 2-3 weeks. So he was the starter before the injury. He actually ran the ball better than Wendell Smallwood. He was they went into clock killing mode at the end of the game, and Corey Clement got 4 or 5 carries when the defense was basically run blitzing, trying to stuff the run. But before that, he was above 5 per carry. He got the goal line work. He had two looks inside the red zone, converted one of them for a touchdown. So going forward, I think you're going to see the timeshare, but I think you might see this timeshare flip-flop to where it was 18 carries for Wendell Smallwood. I think it might be Clement with the 18 and Smallwood with 11. It's still a committee for sure, but we were debating the two, and it's we liked Clement better because of the red zone upside. They showed that they're going to go to him in the red zone.
And guess what? He was in the red zone, and he was in the end zone too.
And he also had the 3 receptions for 26 yards, so he has the receiving upside. So kind of like I said, there's potential for him to be a J.J. with receptions, and he did show that potential with the 3 for 26 in limited snaps too.
Yeah, Clement definitely looked better than Smallwood. I think, like you said, Clement was on the pitch count because he had that quad injury, so I don't think they wanted to give him like a full workload. So I think that's probably why Wendell Smallwood saw a majority of the snaps, or more of snaps than Clement, just because he's probably the healthier back out of the two. But yeah, going forward, I definitely like Clement. You got to hold on to Smallwood though, just see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, Sproul's going to come back too. I'm kind of interested to see how they throw Sproles in there. I would assume they're going to use him when he comes back, but we'll just see this. For right now, yeah, Clement going forward, I think.
Yeah, it was 24-6 by halftime, so they didn't really even need to push, a guy who hasn't played in a few weeks coming off a quad injury. You don't want to re-aggravate it. It's a Thursday night game too, so you almost have like a mini bye week.
For sure.
So it's another week for him and a half almost to get ready for that next game in a sense.
Yeah. All right, so Ertz, he just keeps doing his thing.
He just Ertz his opponents.
Yeah. I was talking to you about it. I feel like Ertz and Kelsey have kind of...
God damn it, dude.
What did he say?
He said he hurts his opponents.
He Ertz his opponents. But
Anyways,
See how quiet it
his
got?
nose wouldn't let him.
huh?
Sounded like you were trying to laugh, but your nose wouldn't let you.
Your fucking nose is broken, bro. Can we get a sinus doctor sponsor us or something? It's like,
Yeah, dude.
Anyways, yeah, I was telling you, Anthony, I feel like Ertz and Kelsey have kind of like surpassed Gronk. Just in the sense that Gronk is, he's so banged up over his career and he's getting older. And I feel like Gronk's kind of past his prime. I mean, he's still Gronk. He's still going to do his thing. But I think Ertz and Kelsey are the two premier tight ends now. They just look more athletic. They're just more, agile. And like they're like in their prime or entering their prime, where I feel like Gronk is kind of like on the downside of his prime. So, I mean, man, Ertz, that guy's good. And him and Wentz they got a bromance. He's throwing the ball every game.
Yeah, they're at least in the same tier at this point. They used to be Gronk was kind of in his own tier by himself. It's at least now that these three you can group these three in their own tier together.
Yeah.
Any given week one can go, but it used to be it was Gronk and then everyone else behind him. I think now, like you said, those two could be ahead and finish ahead. But I think at least now you have to at least look at these three as like an equal tier at this point.
Yeah, Ertz set it and forget it every single week. So
Alshon Jeffrey, nice game, 8 for 74 and 2 touchdowns. He's just sometimes you just got to realize these guys are what they are, and he's a touchdown guy. But what's nice with Jeffrey is in 2 games he's had high reception totals, and that's something that you didn't see last year. I think last year he only had like 50-something receptions, I believe. So if you're in a PPR, and you drafted Jeffrey, seeing those high reception totals, you got to feel good about that because you were drafting him probably more off of the touchdown upside, and now that you're getting receptions as a bonus, I think he's going to see these targets and receptions. He could be a top 15 play weekly.
Yeah, it seemed like Wentz was targeting him. If it wasn't Ertz, it was Jeffrey. I mean, Aguilar had, I think, 3 receptions for 95 yards or something like that. 91 yards. But 2 of those plays were kind of just like off of broken plays. But I mean, that's kind of how Aguilar made his living last year. It would be like a broken play and he'd catch like a 50-yard touchdown, or Wentz was running around scrambling and Aguilar would get some separation. He would hit him for like a 40-yard pass. So just keep an eye on Aguilar, I guess. He's still kind of a guy you got to hold on to. I don't know if I feel comfortable starting him yet, but in certain matchups, I guess he's like a matchup guy, Aguilar.
Yeah, I think I'd try and be packaging him at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he had a decent game. It just hasn't been the same with Wentz since he's came back. The targets have been going to Jeffrey and Ertz. Underneath targets, like I said, if it wasn't for those 2 busted plays, he probably would have had. I mean, one of them was a deflection catch. The other one was. You got to get. Sometimes people are just have a knack for getting open when the play breaks down. But if it wasn't for those 2 plays, you'd have been looking at maybe like a 1 for 12 game. So I'd probably try and package him with someone else and try and upgrade it at a running back position or upgrade it at a receiver position.
Yeah. All right, well, let's jump into these Sunday afternoon games. We got the Los Angeles Rams. They're -7 at Denver. The over is 51. This game, so hearing some reports about the weather. It's supposed to be like 20, 25 degrees, and it's supposed to snow, about like 3 inches of snow.
Dude, do you know what that means, dude?
Shred the gnar.
Oh. Snowboarding? Go! No. Fuck. No, dude, it means it's a little run game, bro. A little more running involved, huh?
You think so? What was the stat you were saying, Anthony, on when it gets to a certain degree?
25.
It's below. Once it's below, like I forget the exact number, but it's 30 or 25 degrees. The teams the run percentage shifts. It shifts in favor of the run in those games. Teams tend to not throw the ball a lot when you're looking at that cold of a game. 40 degrees, 30 degrees, it doesn't affect it, but I know when it's in the 25 to 30 range, it affects how often teams throw the ball.
Yeah.
And with snow in the field, too, it's going to affect it a little bit more, too. So basically playing an ice-cold game if you're looking at 20, 25 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think when it's cold, the ball gets, like rock hard. And, I mean, trying to catch that ball, trying to grip it, trying to throw it, it definitely harder than normal for sure. So would you be starting Goff here? Or?
He's kind of... he's kind of dependent on his receivers too, because we still don't know if Kupp and Cooks are even going to see the field yet. They've been doing walkthroughs, but they haven't cleared the concussion protocol yet. So I think you have to keep an eye on what happens with these two receivers. If those two are out, I'm definitely not starting him in this matchup with just Woods and Gurley out there. If those two are in there, I think it depends upon your options you have. If you have a good streaming option, maybe you picked up a Jameis Winston, then yeah. But I mean, if you're looking at the Baker, Alex Smith, Trubisky, Derek Carr, I think I'd still go with Goff just because this still is a high-powered offense, and there's a potential for them to always drive the field and score a lot of points.
Yeah, I saw a report that Cooks and Kupp, they practiced today. I just don't know. I don't know if, like you said, I don't know if they.
They did walkthroughs, but they haven't been cleared yet.
This could be a big early game. Like you're saying, you got to run the ball in the snow. These defenders, they can't really get their footing. The running back, he knows where he's going. The defender, he's playing guess, and if you don't have good footing, you slip. I mean, this could be a game where Gurley gets like 250 yards or something like that.
I don't know if you know.
We saw what Crowell and Powell did to Denver last week. Gurley could break the single game rushing record potentially. So
I don't know if you upgraded more from the number one running back to the. I don't even know where you would go from that.
Number one running back of all time.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan.
He's going Super Saiyan Blue in this matchup.
Yeah.
He's like already in the Hall of Fame.
So if those receivers don't play, would you feel comfortable starting Robert Woods?
Yeah, I think Robert Woods is. I mean, if all three are out there, you kind of have to start all three just because the volume with all three of them every given week. I think all three receivers are inside the top. Might be 15, but I think all three are inside the top 20. Robert Woods has been practicing all week, so there's probably more of game script and stuff that is geared towards him. He's been making some big plays, so I feel comfortable with Robert Woods as a good play this week, even if they're both out there. If they're both out of there, I think Robert Woods is probably a top 8 option this week.
Yeah, it'd be hard to sit any of these guys if they're playing because they've just been. I mean, like you said, they're top 20, top 15, if that. So, if they're playing, they got to be in my line. But at least it's a flex spot,
Yeah,
minimum flex
and then
spot.
if you're in like a double flex and both those guys are out, Josh Reynolds is a name to where you could just throw a guy out there and see what happens. When they both went down, he was the receiver who came into factor. And, if there's a week he's been in practice, probably working with Goff, working with the game script. So if those two are out, I think you can take a flyer on Josh Reynolds if you're in need of a flex receiver type of guy.
Yeah. All right, so you're starting the Rams defense. Keenum's been looking terrible. Let's jump to the Denver side of the ball. So saying that, you're probably not starting Keenum, especially in the snow. Jump to the receivers here. So I had a dilemma where it was either start Manny Sanders or start Sterling Shepard. I went with the latter on Sterling Shepard. I should have just stuck with my boy Manny Sanders, especially because he's my man crush. But Manny Sanders, 10 plus PPR points in every single game. So I don't know why I didn't go with him. I think it was the weather that scared me. Like you were just saying, Mike.
Yeah.
They're going to run the ball more, and you would think they want to keep Goff and the Rams off the field. If you were smart, you would try to run the ball and control the clock. But what do I know? I'm just a fucking guy who thinks he knows what he's talking about.
I mean, I don't blame you for that start because not Manny Sanders. Case Keenum has lacked touchdown upside, and actually, how many touchdowns does he have in the year? He's lacked touchdown upside in a game to where it figures to be a really cold game, extreme temperatures, them not throwing the ball as much, probably running the ball a little more. I don't blame you for that decision. I probably would have made the same decision as well, just because he's not throwing a lot of touchdowns. One, he's making a lot of turnovers. It's just not a recipe for Manny Sanders getting in the end zone like highly likelihood. So I don't blame you with that decision. Yeah, Case Keenum, I'm going to see how many touchdowns he even has in the year right now.
Yeah, for the receivers here, though, out of the receivers, when it's Manny Sanders, Demaryius Thomas, and Courtland Sutton, Sanders has the best corner matchup because Demaryius Thomas and Courtland Sutton, they should see some Marcus Peters and then the other corner over there. I think the slot corner for the Rams is probably their weakest link on that defense. So the Rams defense actually in the last 3 games, they've given up 100 yards or a touchdown to 6 different receivers. So the potential for like a touchdown or a 100+ yard game is there for sure. The weather's what scared me. If this would have been like a 40, 50 degree, clear skies game, I would have went with Sanders all day, and I he probably would have been like a top 15 play for me. But the weather just kind of scares me. The
doesn't
snow
even feel it's what is it? It's like the October.
Well, we live in Las Vegas, and it's still like 90 degrees out or 85 degrees out. But you got to think of some of these other places, especially Denver, Mile High, the altitude there. It's October.
Yeah, Case
And-
Keenum's thrown. Sorry, go ahead.
Science.
No, I was gonna say something dumb, so you can interrupt me.
Since after week 1 where he threw 3 touchdowns, Case Keenum's only thrown 2 touchdowns in his last 4 games, with a 4-pick ratio.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good. I think if you're Denver and you're the coaching staff, you're trying to ground and pound and keep the ball as much as you can out of the Rams offense.
So,
Who'd
so
you
with that
play?
being said, yeah.
Would you play Lindsey or
I
Royce
would
Freeman?
play probably both running backs in this game.
Say you had both of them. Like I have
Like,
both.
who would I
have.
choose?
I have both of them in a league.
In a
So it's like-
PPR,
I've been playing Lindsey.
yeah. In
if I play him.
PPR, I'm definitely starting Lindsey. In a standard, it's a tough one in a standard.
I might still lean Lindsey in
I'd
standard.
maybe still lean Lindsey.
Yeah, I think so too. I think just the way they're using him, he's more versatile.
If they would just get rid of
Hopefully-
Booker.
Yeah, I think we say that
Because
every
Royce
time we
Freeman is
talk about
good
them.
too. I mean, Royce Freeman's one of those backs too, where he gets stronger as the games get going, and he's just not been able to. He's still at 5 yards a carry, but he hasn't had a chance to get 20 carries in a game. Actually, I think if Philip Lindsay was never this surprise back out of nowhere, Royce Freeman would probably be a top 10 option week in and week out.
Yeah, they're both averaging like 5.5 yards per carry. So they're running the ball really good. It's just the touches, the volume. You know what I'm saying? They're splitting it. And Lindsey seems to be getting more of the touches, and he's getting the passing game, which is putting him above Royce Freeman. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, who knows? I mean, the coach said they want to get Royce Freeman more involved. I mean, this is a good game script right here. It's snowing. You want to run the ball. The Rams' run defense, even though they have Aaron Donald and Sue, they're not this dominant run defense that you would expect.
Yeah.
So,
All right, would
can
you
run on
play?
them.
Would you play Lindsey over? Because I have Lindsey and Freeman in.
Are you asking for a
Ginley.
friend or are you asking for your lineup?
No, this is actually. No, I'm just curious what you think.
Oh,
too,
we got a
though.
caller in?
Yeah. Oh, well, we got a caller. Hey, caller.
This is Dad?
Say what you're thinking. Oh yeah, so I have Lindsey and Royce Freeman on my bench right now, and I was wondering, should I play them over Carlos Hyde and Isaiah Crowell? What should I do? The matchups it's just what do you guys think? I want the average bro opinion. Oh wow, that's a pretty interesting question. We'll get right there. What was your name, buddy? Oh, my name's Jimmy. Longtime listener. I've been listening since episode 5. But yeah, so what would you guys think? Wow, let's get down to it. Jimmy, you just seem like a swell guy. But let's break it down. What do you guys think? Philip Lindsay, Carlos Hyde. Who would you do?
You
Not
go
flex play.
Carlos Hyde in that position.
Yeah, I'd go Carlos Hyde in that position. Crowell's missed the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't even know
so
if he's going to play this week.
we don't know if he's going to play.
Yeah. I mean, we already discussed that matchup, but if Crowell's out for any reason, Powell's a good start this week.
Yeah, Powell probably jumps into like a top 20
It's
option.
top 20, top 25 option for sure.
Yeah, so I would start.
Yeah.
We would say Hyde.
Standard, I like Freeman in a standard a lot too. He's getting a lot of red zone looks inside the 5, and he's been converting him at a high rate. So standard, the receptions don't really. You're not a PPR league. If you're in a standard and you need a running back to score a touchdown, a good chance, a decent workload, and a high touchdown upside. So
for sure. All right, so Denver's defense, would you be throwing them out there? They're at home, snow game. I mean, the over/under is still 50, so they're projecting a lot of points. But I mean, this could be a potential low-scoring game. I mean,
Denver's defense actually hasn't been good in general. If Gurley's running the ball and Goff's not turning it over, I just don't. He doesn't get sacked a lot.
yeah,
And he doesn't make a lot of mistakes as
yeah,
now.
he's
So
pretty good with protecting the ball. So yeah,
Even if
I'd
it-
probably be fading Denver's defense.
yeah, even if it's a lower scoring game, let's just say it's like a 17 or 10 to 21. I don't think they're going to make many mistakes. I don't think you're going to get many points unless you get some type of kickoff return for a touchdown. So I'd be fading him this week and won't start him.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to the next game. It's the Saxonville Jaguars versus the Dallas Cowboys.
That's a Jaguar.
Jacksonville's -3.
I'm pretty sure
Over
they're not even the
is
leading
40.
sacks. They have the leading amount of sacks in the league. So inaccurate, bitch.
That's why you're here, bro. The scientist. He's the stat guy.
I'm just saying, dude. Pretty
Seriously.
sure T.J. Watt and J.J. Watt are tied for the most sacks this year.
Bro, you're fucking wicked smart,
Pretty
bro.
fucking sure.
All right, so
Everybody sleeps on
Jacksonville-
T.J. Watt. Nobody even talks about him, dog. Fucking savage.
No, he's good. He good.
He good.
Everybody says, dude, but nobody says too.
Yeah. He's like, huck it, chuck it.
Football.
All right, so let's go to Jacksonville side. Blake Barders, the Squirtles, the Barders,
He's
Dude,
still a
Blake.
Squirtle.
the Squirtles. He did not evolve.
He's not
Actually, I
that
think he
Blake
was a top 5
Venusaur.
finish last week, low key.
I think he
top
did,
8.
even though he threw like 4 picks.
Yeah, he's like terrible for real life, but for fantasy, he's somehow like fantasy doesn't matter how you are in real life. It's
He's like the
different.
junk time king.
Yeah, it's a different story. This is a low over under 41. This isn't a week I really feel. Dallas's defense is actually playing pretty decent, according to Justin and his losses in the at the sports book. But all jokes aside, they actually are playing pretty decent. Two good defenses, two teams that want to run the ball a lot, especially in Dallas and even in Jacksonville. So I don't think I'd be considering Blake Bortles as a streaming option this week.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. He's Dallas defense, like low key, has been pretty good. So we're talking about the running back, TJ Yeldon. Fournette, he's out for this game for sure. They're saying he could maybe make it back next week, but potentially he might even sit out through the bye, which I think is week 9, so he wouldn't come back until week 10. So hopefully if you had Fournette, you drafted Yeldon too. But if you don't, if you got Yeldon, fire him up. You know, he's like on a fringe RB1, RB2 right there. I know Dallas's defense is pretty good, but they just gave up 8 catches to Alfred Blue. So, and they use TJ Yeldon in the passing game all the time. So for him to get some catches, it's, you know, he's going to get his too, you know. And interesting stat on Yeldon, when Fournette's not in the game, in the last 5 games, he's had 14 or more PPR points in 4 of the last 5 games. So Cowboys, they're bad against pass catching running backs. Like I said, they gave up 8 catches to Alfred Blue last week. I mean, Yeldon, he's good for like 5 or 6 catches probably in this game.
Yeah, not start. Do you want to play receiver roulette at all in this game? I know that D.D. Westbrook has a good slot matchup, but how do you feel about any of the Jacksonville?
If I was going to start one, it'd be DD. And if I'm going to go rest of season for who finishes the best receiver on this team, I think I would go DD.
I think you have a 33% chance of being correct.
Hey, that sounds good.
Do you want a cock bet on that? I mean, beer bet? Sorry. Just. I'm sorry.
All right, anyways.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, I think I'd.
Let's beer bet it. Let's beer bet. We'll all pick a receiver.
Okay. All right, well, I'll go Cole. So Mike gets Moncrief by default.
Yeah, you get Moncrief by default.
What the frick,
Hey,
dude?
he scored the most touchdowns.
Yeah, bro.
You get the touchdown guy.
All right, beer bet.
Wait, who do you pick?
I guess I'll go with Cole.
I got DD. DD.
I'd actually pick Cole personally if I was going to pick 3.
I picked Juju.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. He's not even on that team.
No, I
For
know.
him to lead that team is
no.
bold.
Bro.
Mid-season trade?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
But no, seriously though, I think DD's probably the only guy I will consider playing. I think a lot of people don't understand this about DD. Is that he won the Biletnikoff Award when he was in college, which means that he was the best receiver in the nation. So I mean, even though he didn't get drafted in the first round, you know, all these other receivers, they have the talent, and the potential to be like, you know, these stud receivers. When he was in college, they gave him an award and said, "Hey man, you're the best wide receiver in college football this year." So
Hey, DD.
Hey,
Don't
you're
sleep
the
on
leading
that.
receiver in the league.
Hey, DD, no one understands this.
yeah,
You won the college award.
Finished 5th in the Heisman voting that year too. So I mean, the guy, he's obviously talented. He's obviously got the skill. So
Hey, DD, you got Bill Belichick
Did
award.
Marcus Russell also finish like first in the Heisman?
I can't remember that. He was too busy sipping that lean.
Didn't Ryan Leaf win the Heisman?
No, Peyton Manning won the Heisman, I think. I could be wrong, though.
Hey, DD.
Hey, DD.
All right, so you're not really starting to tight end over here. I think just some news. ASJ, he has like a abdomen core injury, so he's on the IR.
I was like, yeah, didn't he die?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to come back this year or not, or if maybe he can come back after week 11 or something like that. But
he's dead.
yeah, he's not there. Niles Paul was the tight end that stepped in. He had a pretty decent game last week, I think. He had like 6 or 7 catches.
Nice power.
So maybe just keep an eye on him. Maybe,
Keep an eye, yeah. I
Maybe,
don't know if
maybe
I'm-
he emerges as a guy later in the year. But
I
for
wouldn't
now,
chase points after one.
yeah,
week.
for now, I'm not. Yeah, not playing.
Go ahead on your ESPN app and click his name and click watch.
Got it.
Dude, you're smart. Even without your glasses.
Yo, wicked smart.
Honest.
All right, so
You
we
must
can
have had your morning Joe.
Honest, dude? Honest?
be on.
I'm wearing-
Mike, be honest
honest?
though. Be honest though.
Honest, dude? I'm wearing contacts, dude.
Couldn't even tell, dude. I thought your eyes were naturally
They're
blue.
non-prescription contacts.
All right, so Dallas side. Oh, so you're starting Jacksonville defense.
Jacksonville defense for sure.
The Dallas side is equal as no one, and next.
Next.
I feel like every week that's all we gotta say.
Literally, we go like, all right, so we're covering Dallas, and his equal is no one. Next.
Yeah.
I guess we
much
could
it.
touch on Swaim again. He's someone where
Yeah.
decent tight end option if you're have a bye week or have an injury. He's been seeing targets. I think he's had at least 40 yards in the last 3 games.
See, I think that
Is it Geoff or is it Jeff?
Goff.
Jeff. His name is Jeff.
It's Jeff, dude.
Is it? I think it's
you
Geoff.
you guys are insane for thinking that it's Geoff. That's how Jeff
it's
is spelled
Geoff.
sometimes.
Bro, what if he's like Ukrainian or
Yeah.
Russian
Bro,
or something? His
no,
name is
that's
Geoff.
how some people spell Jeff, bro.
It's
How
actually
do you know?
it's actually a hard
Because
K.
I've met people that are named Jeff, and that's how they spell their name.
Honestly,
Honest,
honestly?
truly.
But if you
Truly,
met
dude.
a Geoff from the UK,
Okay, then that's for sure Jeff.
but if you met one from Russia,
Haven't you remember Jeffrey? Oh, it's just a bloke down the road. Oh, you smoke a Jeffrey. You know that movie? Fucking
yeah, but it wasn't called the Geoffrey.
yeah, no, but it could be spelled. So Jeff is a fucking common name in the UK, is what I'm saying. Dude, 2 + 2 = 4. You idiot, not 5.
All right.
I'm just
You're
saying,
making some
dog.
solid points here, bro. All right, so Geoff.
So Geoff Swaim, 3 for 55, 3 for 39 and a tug, and 5 for 47. So he's not, if he keeps that type of production, he's not going to shit the bed for you at the tight end position.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
gotta,
think-
well, just to think, like, you got Ramsey. Actually, Ramsey's like 50-50. They said he
Ramsey's
might,
is
not,
the best.
he might not even play, but you still got Bouye out there. These receivers for Dallas are not good enough to get separation against the Jaguars defense. So maybe Swaim is the guy where he's kind of just dumping it off, quick short passes, because I guess if there's a spot for them to try to take advantage, maybe it's the tight end spot because these receivers obviously aren't good enough.
Yeah,
versus the Jags defensive
if you
backs.
messed up and didn't pick up Cameron Brate on the waiver, didn't get him, or if you didn't get, I think Austin Hooper will have a good game, but if you didn't get those guys, I think Jeff is just probably still there.
It's Geoff.
For sure.
Dallas D, decent start.
God damn it!
Decent start. I mean,
Decent start.
Bortles is known to throw some picks here.
Yeah, and it's in Dallas, low over under. So probably
sure.
maybe a few picks, maybe a few sacks.
For sure.
So the next matchup we have is the Baltimore Ravens at the Tennessee Titans. This game's in Philadelphia. It's a 41.5 point over.
The Philadelphia Titans.
Is it Philly? I thought it was Philly.
Philly, and the Ravens are favored by 2.5 points. So we'll start with Baltimore. Joe Flacco, don't like him in this matchup. Tennessee's been actually playing really good defense. He's been more of a streamer. Chill. He's been more of a streamer option, but this is a tough matchup, so I don't think I'd be considering streaming him in this matchup. Big move to the running backs. Collins and Allen, I feel like they're both... It's kind of a tough matchup. How do you feel about them?
I think they're like flex play. If you don't have anyone,
Yeah, that's
flex
what I was gonna
plays,
say.
low end RB2s at the best. I was just doing some numbers on them. Buck Allen actually leads the team in snaps, touches, and routes run. So, I mean, if everyone was thinking like Alex, you probably drafted Alex Collins in the 3rd or 4th round. You probably got Buck Allen on the waiver wire. And like, here's a guy. He's this is a full blown running back by committee, but Buck Allen is getting majority of the work actually. So,
Collins just keeps fumbling it. That's why.
yeah. So just another interesting stat I came across. The Titans, they haven't allowed a touchdown run to the running back at all. And they've only allowed 17 total PPR points per game. So if they're only allowing 17 points per game to the running back, and now you're splitting it 50-50 down the middle, what are you looking at? Like 9 points each per game, possibly? And if one of these running backs, if you don't find the end zone, I mean, you're looking at under 10 points for sure, I think.
Yeah.
These would be some players I'd probably be trying to fade if I had
it's
better
a tough
options.
defensive option or defensive matchup for both of them. So like you said, I think they're more flex plays. If you have better options, go with them. But if you're desperate, they're at least a flex play or a decent RB2 option.
Yeah.
If you have some bye weeks and some injuries.
Yeah.
My name
Speaking
is,
of...
Oh, sorry.
No,
Go ahead,
go
Mike.
ahead.
Give your 2 cents.
No, I was gonna say
we're
my
about to punt these dogs.
Yeah.
So animal control, close your eyes.
PETA.
PETA.
You ever seen Anchorman?
I was gonna say my name is Tyler Reveles, and I am the dog whisperer. That's all I was gonna say. So,
That's your analysis. All right.
yeah, well, because the dogs. Yeah, never mind, dude. All right, go ahead.
What's that dog's name? Is it Geoff?
Geoff, yeah,
The new
Geoff. Something I just want to touch on is I was looking at the schedules. Like I'm always looking at weeks 14, 15, 16 down the stretch, and just looking at what running backs, receivers, whatever, who has an easier schedule compared to other players. The Ravens running backs, they actually do have a really easy schedule down the stretch. So, I mean, Buck Allen, he doesn't have that name value. Like you're trying to trade for someone sometimes, like they have that name value. Like even if they're doing shitty, like people won't trade them, or like for instance, a player in this matchup like John Brown, he's playing better than Odell Beckham, but and he's got more points than Odell, but Beckham probably. But it's like you try to trade John Brown in like even like a John Brown and a Jordan Howard for Odell. People be like, who the fuck's John Brown? Like I don't want him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Buck Allen doesn't have that name value to anyone. People be like Buck Allen, whatever. Like I'll trade him, and it's like so if you could try to trade him, if you get some, you know. Try to get him for dirt cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I just said, he's leading the team in routes, touches, you know, all that stuff.
You can almost
get the goal line carries. You know, this could be a guy, you know, potentially in the playoffs who could, you know, help you win your championship. So I think he's had like double digits or 14 plus points in like every single game except for one so far. So just some, you know, maybe a trade target. He doesn't have that name value, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, right.
We've got puppy chaos going on over there.
Godzilla.
Jesus, do you want to pause and fucking figure this out? Throw those guys in the pool.
I'll just leave it. All right, so the
Bro,
receivers.
they're doing up down. They're doing football drills right now, bro.
They're running routes.
Yeah, they're running routes, bro.
They're doing ladders together.
But it's the Puppy Bowl. You know, in the Super Bowl, Animal Planet, they do this thing called the Puppy Bowl, and it's just a bunch of puppies playing on like a football field. My little sister would watch it when we were younger.
Receivers. John Brown. I think he's like you said. He's doing better than Odell has stat wise. High touchdown upside. He's seen double digit targets in. Let me pull up the stats real quick. I know he had 14 targets last. Just a high target guy. I mean, Joe Flacco's not the most accurate, but he's getting a lot of deep targets too. There's been games to where he's been just missed by Joe Flacco to where he could have had like a 50-yard bomb touchdown, a 60-yard bomb touchdown. So if he's going to get 3-4 deep shots a game, and he's one of the fastest guys in the league, I think 50 yards in every game at least too. So he has a nice floor with big upside.
Yeah, for sure. I think you got to at least flex him because, like you said, 14 targets, that's a ton. And I think he's had a touchdown in every single game except for maybe one. Yeah. And with John Brown's, you know, one of those guys where it literally takes one play, 50-yard touchdown, boom, you're in double digits already, you know, off of one play. And if he's getting 14 attempts at him, you know, to make that one play, like, yeah, I'll take a shot at that.
It wouldn't even surprise me if he had like 2 50-yard touchdowns in a game.
Yeah. So similar to Crabtree. Someone dropped Crabtree in one of my leagues the other day, and I know he hasn't put up any crazy good numbers, but like PPR-wise, I was looking at his stats, and he's had 10-plus PPR points in every single game but one. So, I mean, he's got a safe floor, I feel like. He's getting at least 8 targets a game. And some of those games, he's actually, he's had the case of the drop. So it's like, if he's already had like, 10-plus points in every single game, and these games could have been even better if, he didn't drop a couple passes here and there in each game. So, I mean, I think it's a tough matchup, but if you got to throw him in for your flex, I wouldn't be mad at it. Like I said, I think he's got a safe floor. So,
all right.
Time check.
Time check.
Time
yeah.
zone.
Well, but he said, we'll just move on to tight end. I don't need to volley off that. Tight ends, you start any of them?
Probably not right now. Just keep an eye on Hayden Hurst. I'm kind of a big Hayden Hurst truther right now. I feel like he's going to come over and eventually take over and be the main tight end down the stretch. He came in. I think he was kind of on a limited, pitch count or whatever, snap count. They just kind of want to see how his foot was holding up and stuff like that. But I've been reading some reports on him so far, and they're saying that he looks really good in practice, and like that he just looks way better than all the other tight ends in practice. And the offensive coordinator was just like, super excited, how good he looks, and he's kind of just excited to get him out there and see what he can do in a full game. So just keep an eye on him. Hayden Hurst, like we were talking about, the tight ends are really thin, so could be a potential guy down the stretch. Pick up and.
Yeah, nice
stash.
Guy. Or like Mike said, you go to ESPN app, and what do? You click that red flag.
Yeah, no, there's like a watch option. I do click that just because it brings them up to the top. Honest,
and you'll get alerts on the players if there's any good news or bad news about them too.
It does help you.
Baltimore's defense, pretty good start in this matchup.
Yeah, you probably start both these defenses. Yeah. Honestly, it should be a relatively low scoring game. And over, like you said, over under is 41. So.
Tennessee side, Marcus Mariota,
he's dead to me.
He not playing very good at all.
Yeah,
especially going up against this defense.
Yeah, I think it's the first in yards allowed. So I don't really like. Marcus Mariota.
He couldn't do anything against Buffalo. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I would be fading Marcus Mariota right here.
The running backs, I feel like they're both low end flex plays.
I wouldn't even be playing either one of these running backs.
Yeah, I would try to avoid him if I could.
They're basically splitting 50-50 snaps. If you just get into some of the stats here. So, splitting 50-50 snaps. Deion Lewis is averaging 3.2 yards per carry. Derrick Henry is averaging 3.4 yards per carry. So they can't even run the ball. Dion Lewis is getting 35 yards per game. Derrick Henry's getting 44 yards per game. I mean, this just isn't good. I mean, Dion Lewis is obviously the pass catching back. He's averaging 5 targets a game, whereas Derrick Henry's had 5 targets in the whole year so far. So it should be like a low scoring game. I can't imagine them throwing the ball a ton. I don't know why they don't throw the ball to Dion Lewis in space more. I mean, just try to move the chains. It just blows me away. I don't understand why, but I would definitely be fading both these running backs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was listening to you. The receiver position, I mean, the only one you're really considering would be Corey Davis. Just such a high target share. It's kind of a tough matchup for him on paper. But Jimmy Smith is back, but he's been like limited so far to the snaps he's seen on the field. There's Tavon Young, who hasn't been a good corner in the slot. So they do move Corey Davis into the slot a decent amount. I'm okay starting him, but I don't think he's just basically because Marcus Mariota's ceiling isn't very high. I don't think his ceiling is very high. If Marcus Mariota throws for 220 in this game, 250, I think Corey Davis will have a pretty good game. If he throws for 150, he might just have an average game. But he's consistently been seeing a lot of targets and been making catches. So in a PPR, I'm okay starting him. In a standard, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, for me, if I had some better options, I would be fading Davis this week. The Ravens, they give up the second fewest yards to outside receivers in the league. So, and like you said, they're getting Jimmy Smith back. So Mariota has been playing good. No one on the Titans receiving core scares me except for Corey Davis. So I mean, if they were to just double him all game, I mean it'd be tough. It'd be tough. I mean, it'd be risky to be starting him. If I had some better options, I mean, there might be some better options on the waiver wire. Safer floors at least than Corey Davis. But I mean, if you got to throw him in there, you do what you do. But it's definitely a tough matchup. I would be fading him.
I think he's more of a PPR flex with this matchup.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is talented, and it's the point to where it's more Marcus Mariota than it is Corey Davis to me.
Yeah.
If Marcus Mariota could be consistent, I think Corey Davis is talented enough to, in tough matchups, you can still start Corey Davis. But if Marcus Mariota's up and down in these tough matchups, it's just hard for me to have trust when the quarterback play is so down. If he was more consistent, I'd be like, I still feel fine starting him this matchup. But when Mariota's so up and down, it's, in a standard, I'm not. But in a PPR, like I said, if you have better options, look for it. But if you don't, PPR, I'm okay with it.
Is it just me? Is there no in between on quarterbacks this season? You either have Eli Manning's dumbass who can't throw the ball more than 10 yards, Dak Prescott, or Josh Rosen, all these guys that are actually Josh Rosen's a little bit different, but all these guys, Larry Fitz, Odell, all these guys don't look good. It's all these quarterbacks, man.
Yeah.
I mean, then all of a sudden you got Jared Goff and all these other quarterbacks just killing it.
Yeah.
It's there's not really an in between. I mean, you know what I mean? Does that make sense, dude?
Yeah.
Honestly, bro. Honestly, yeah, that makes sense.
All right, let's go on to the Sunday night game. You got the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots in New England.
I'm excited for this game.
This is a high-ass over-under, 59.5. I think it's the highest of the year.
Wow, it was so much points.
So Casey, you're starting everybody. New England, you're starting everybody.
Yeah, I think in this matchup, you're starting everybody. If I could start Bill Belichick, I'd start him.
Is there anyone you wouldn't start in this matchup? I guess let's start with Casey. I mean, Mahomes, running backs.
I'm not starting Burkhead.
Receivers. Tight end. We don't really have to touch on Casey. You're starting everybody. New England, I guess the conversations would be you're starting the running backs. Gordon and Edelman would probably be the two guys you can talk about. I think you're starting Edelman just based off he's going to get a lot of receptions in this game, or at least a lot of targets.
Floor.
And the way that Josh Gordon was drafted, I feel like most people are going to end up playing him.
That snap count is so low with him, which worries me. I mean, there's a chance for a low game if he's not on the field a lot, but there is a chance for a boom game too.
Do you think maybe that they were waiting for him to understand the game script and stuff?
Yeah, but it is a hard offense to just get in general, so I don't even know how high his snap percentage is going to go up. But he's been targeted. I think out of the 16 snaps or some crap he's played like that, he's been targeted on 35 to 40% of the snaps he's been on the actually running like a pass route. So when they put him out there, they're trying to get him the ball basically. I'm gonna look at snap counts right now.
I mean, yeah, like you said, you're starting everyone on Kansas City. I think maybe the one player you might have hesitation to is Sammy Watkins, just because I think his hamstring still might be messed up. But if Sammy Watkins is playing, he's in my lineup.
Yeah,
at least he's a flex guy. Because I mean, this should be This should be a shootout back and forth. It's prime time. You know the NFL is going to want this game to be back and forth, just high-scoring games. You got Tom Brady, the fucking GOAT. And then you got Patrick Mahomes, just, the fucking MVP right now. So they're going to want the ratings to the roof on this game. I'd be starting everybody. Like you were saying, Josh Gordon, it's the verbiage a lot of players say of this, New England offense. And he's still learning it. I think he only played, do you look at the snaps?
He's at 18 snaps in both games.
18 snaps.
But if he jumps up to 40 snaps in a matchup like this, he could have a massive game.
Yeah.
So this is a personal. I feel like this comes down to a personal call because I can't tell you. No one can tell you. I don't even know if Bill Belichick can tell you how many snaps he's going to be on the field. So it's more of like Josh Gordon's a gut call in my eyes. He could have a crap game or he could have a big game, and no one really knows how much he's going to be on the field yet.
Yeah, I think he only played like 22% of the snaps the first game he was there, and then 26% last game. So, even if he jumps up to like 40 or 50% of the snaps, that still might not be enough. But I guess if there's a defense that he's going to perform against, it's this Chiefs defense. They're ranked bottom in the league in like every category. They're just terrible. A stat on Edelman I found: the Chiefs are allowing 8 receptions a game to slot receivers. So that's where Edelman, that's his bread and butter, lining up in the slot right there. So let's just say he even gets like 6 of those. You're looking at a floor of like 6 receptions plus the yardage. I think he got double digit 10 plus, a floor of 10 plus. So.
Yeah, nice PPR. I don't really like Edelman in standard, but in this matchup, I'd still start him in a standard.
Yeah. For me, kind of just like a deep sleeper. I know Chris Hogan's probably just dead everyone. He hasn't played very good, but if there's a game where, he was still getting a ton of red zone, a ton of red zone looks, from Tom Brady. If there's a game where Hogan's going to come out and have a good game, like I said, it's this game. It has such a high over/under, and like I said, the Chiefs defense is just terrible. This will probably be the game where Gronk comes out and has like 4 touchdowns though. Since
I feel like we say that every week. I feel like we said that last week too.
Chris Hogan, nice and deep. Deep sleeper.
That's a fucking deep sleeper.
Deep sleeper. I'm gonna wake him up. Hey, take an Ambien because we're going into a goddamn deep sleep. Did you forget your melatonin, you dumb bitch?
All right.
Sorry, just talk some shit.
So aggressive.
I don't think bottom 5 defensive plays on both sides of the ball probably.
Yeah, neither defense here.
I'll just come out and be like a 14-10 game.
Seriously.
So move on to the Monday night game.
No way, dude. There's no way.
Beer bet.
For you, 14 to 10.
Like no. Actually, it's at the 60 mark. Would you take the over or under on that?
Where is it?
59.5.
Is it in Kansas City?
New England.
That's like 30 each. I'll take the over. Fuck it.
I think I go under.
I'd probably take the under. Dude, 60?
I know, bro. But,
60, dude.
But a 31-34. If the score was 31-34, would you be surprised?
No.
No.
But if it was
No.
27-24, would you be surprised?
No.
That's a pretty normal.
If it was 50-50, would you be surprised? No.
Yes, I would be surprised. 50 to 50?
Yeah, it ends in a tie.
Hey, dude, that'd be so I'd be so pissed. Score that many touchdowns and you're fucking.
Well, if you have any Chiefs or Patriots, you'd be happy because you'd probably have like hella fantasy points.
Seriously.
Yeah, we were talking about Monday night game. The San Francisco 49ers against the Green Bay Packers. Let's start with the Niners. Is there anyone? Just kidding.
Alfred Morris?
Alfred Morris is a good volume start in this. I don't necessarily know if I like the game script for him, though, which kind of worries me in PPR leagues. Is it going to be more use check or the Mozart dude out there on the field if they're chasing Green Bay in this game? I think he has a nice volume play, but the game script could get out of hand kind of quick, and that's something where, I'm debating is he going to not be on the field as much as people expect because the game script gets out of hand kind of quick. I don't know. How do you feel about just that? Just second opinion on.
Yeah, well, like first glance at it, like you're saying, Green Bay's minus 9.5 at home against San Francisco. Beathard's not very good. Breida's going to be banged up. He's out probably. Like you're saying, this game could get out of line. But then I'm looking at it and I'm thinking like, man, how many times have we looked at a Monday night game and we've been like, oh, bro, the Texans at home minus 9.5, or like, there's always one year I remember it was like Matt Ryan, the Jets were they were playing the Jets with Geno Smith, and it was like the Falcons were minus 9 at home against Geno Smith and the Jets, and I was like, oh, for sure, they're like minus 600, and I just threw them on a parlay, and the Jets ended up winning that game, and I'm like how the fuck does Geno Smith and the Jets beat Matt Ryan and the Falcons in Atlanta? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at this game like, is it one of those tricky games where you think it's going to be a blowout, but it'll be a lot closer than expected? And I mean, like you said, if Breed is out, Morris should get the ball 20 times. And I think I saw a stat where inside carries inside the 5, he already has 6 carries inside the 5, and he's top 10. He's ranked top 10 in that. So if they get close, they're going to give him the ball. So
I think it's hard. I think the reason games like that, it's hard to game plan against like a backup quarterback versus if you know how like Tom Brady is going to play, how to, even though it's going to be a harder player to play against, you know what you're going up against. But when you go up to these backup quarterbacks and you got Alfred Morris instead of your Jerick McKinnon that you were planning on playing earlier on in the year, it can just really fuck. That's where I think that these Monday night games end up happening like that.
yeah, I mean, I just think everyone thinks the Packers are going to come out and blow them out, but
Aaron Rodgers is hobbling around, man. Like, it's very possible.
The Niners plus 9.5. I think I might take ballsy pick right here and go Niners plus 9.5, especially because the last 2 Monday night games, the favorites have actually won. So like it's due for like the underdog to come out and cover.
Definitely.
NFL's rigged, bro. At the end of the day, this shit is rigged.
Yeah, these players are all taking bribes. My actually a deep sleeper and a PPR format would be
Like Ambien asleep?
Like Ambien,
or like melatonin?
Would be Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah. Check.
He had 6 receptions for 75 yards last week in the game against Arizona. In a PPR format, CJ Beathard, I've said it over and over, he throws to the running backs a lot. So 6 for 75. I think Morris even had 2 or 3 receptions in that game too.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a combined almost 10 catches. So if this game does get out of hand, kind of ugly, and they're trailing, I think Kyle Juszczyk could see 6-7 receptions. So if you're in a PPR and you need like a desperation type of RB2, maybe you're without Ingram, Kamara, maybe someone else on a bye. Desperation type of low key, like pick someone off the waiver wire and start him.
For sure, no, I like that. So just some stats for the Packers defense. So they give up 105 yards per game, and they give up 4.2 yards per carry. So the opportunity to run on them is there. They've given up 5 touchdowns, which is among the most in the league too. So for the opportunity for you even Juszczyk to get maybe a goal line carry and run it in, and Morris to put up some points. I for sure flex guys. I think Morris has some RB2 appeal to him. Let's talk about the receivers here. I don't know if I trust any receiver.
Yeah, I think Kittle's the only receiver I really feel comfortable.
Yeah, Kittle.
Trusting. Oh wait, he's a tight end. Yeah, that's something I really feel comfortable starting in this matchup.
Yeah, him and Beathard or whatever. Yeah, college roommates, went to Iowa together, so they got that connection. That's his go-to guy.
Yeah,
I'd be starting him for sure. Kittle probably top 10 play. Let's jump over to the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, dial him up, discount, double check it. Just talk about this running back situation because it's like every week it's like 30, like 25, 30 snaps, 30 snaps, 30 snaps, and they're just everyone keeps waiting for this Aaron Jones game of him blowing up and coming out and taking over. But it's like even if he is the best running back out of the 3, it just seems like they're just like like 30%, 30, right down the middle, thirds. So
yeah, I'm with you on this. I think all year long it's none of them are going to completely go away. Like should Aaron Jones, I think even Aaron Rodgers came out and said we need to have Aaron Jones on the field more, like personally. But I think it's Mike McCarthy. I just think he's or whoever the offensive coordinator. I don't know which coach to blame in this, but I don't think either of them are going to go away. I mean, it's 3 games in a row now where Jamal kind of leads the committee, and it's like Ty Montgomery has his role and Aaron Jones has his role, so they're all out there, and I don't think any of them are really going away. So you're basically, I mean, Aaron Jones is probably the highest upside play, but I mean, he's not the one I feel the most. I don't really feel comfortable starting any of them in a sense, but you're in a 3-man committee where
it's Aaron Jones. If
I'm going to start one, you're in a 3-man committee where when the Packers get to the 2, they throw the ball.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, if I had to start one, it'd be Aaron Jones. But like I said, I really don't like all. It's like the Jaguars receivers. Yeah. They're not in the best situation. You're not guaranteed production at all 3, but one of them could hit in this given week.
Yeah. This was kind of like in the draft season. I was kind of staying away from this backfield. It's just because I felt like it would be.
We talked about it a bunch.
We talked about it, yeah, and it's just like Yeah, Aaron Jones, obviously, he has the talent to be the main running back there, but it's just too murky. And I don't want to be playing Russian roulette, guessing every week which running back to play. Or like, yeah, my running back, he has the potential and to be the best running back, but like, are they going to give him the ball? I mean, at the end of the day, I think what we need to do is we all just need to write Aaron Jones a letter or something, hit him up on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and say, hey, bro, why don't you just get better at pass blocking, and then you'll be in there every fucking play. Because I feel like the only reason they put Jamal Williams in there is because he can pass block. And like Aaron Jones can't pass block. So it's like, hey, Aaron Jones, just get better.
Yeah, dude, get better.
And then you can be in there every play.
Yeah, and then in turn we will play you in our fantasy leagues. And then in turn you'll have a lot of
followers.
People will like you.
Then you can make more money.
And then so then you win games and then you make more money. Yeah, cross that out.
Just my hindsight, yeah. Get Aaron Jones.
So
get better at blocking.
The receivers you got to kind of keep an eye on because Geronimo Allison is cleared for concussion protocols.
Yeah.
He's practicing with the hamstring possibly issue. Cobb's out there practicing with a hamstring issue. If both were to be out, I think Marquez Valdez MVS is a nice start this week. If one or either or both are in there, you fade him for sure. You're starting Devontae Adams. I like Geronimo. Geronimo Allison's been double-digit points every week. He's been healthy. You know, they could put up a lot of points in this matchup, so I'd feel fine with Geronimo. Cobb, I don't know. I'd probably Cobb's injury history and the way he plays with injuries. I don't know if I'd like to start him even if he's out there. I'd probably bench Cobb.
Has he been practicing this week?
Limited.
So yeah, like you were saying, MVS, Marquez Valdez Scanling. I think he's a guy you need to, have on your bench at least, because like I said, if something happens to one of these guys, he instantly jumps into a role where Aaron Rodgers is throwing him the ball, and obviously he's capable of producing. I think last week he had like 6 for 70 and a touchdown or something like that, and he nearly had a second touchdown. He stretched out at the 1 yard line and barely missed it. Cobb's always banged up. Let's just say he gets hurt for some reason, and he's out for an extended period of time. MVS steps in as that third receiver, and he definitely has some fantasy value and some fantasy relevance.
Yeah, and if Geronimo's on your waiver wire, double check and just pick him up.
Yeah. Last week, when we did the waiver wire episode, he was available in like 40 or 45% of the leagues.
He's available in a decent amount of leagues.
He's like a top 25 wide receiver right now.
Yeah.
So
I didn't listen to our own advice last week, and I accidentally played Geronimo Allison.
He reminds me of the year when...
Yeah, we were watching the game, and Mike's like, hey, Aaron Rodgers, how about you throw the ball to Geronimo Allison? Where the fuck is Geronimo Allison at? I'm like, bro, he's out. And he's like, no, he's not. And I'm like, bro, he's out. He had like,
bro,
concussed.
You know what it was? Is because when we talked about it, me and Anthony were talking about it, and he's like, pay attention to see if they get cleared or not. And I even said on the podcast, I feel like when people get concussions, they don't really. That's not actually an injury. Like they're like, yeah, okay, we'll see if you're cleared,
They're
and
just
then they
running into
usually clear them.
walls.
And then, so like I think I based it off of that assumption I made in my head that he's for sure playing, and then I fucking I didn't even like look, dude. I don't know. So
Were you concussed?
Do yourself a flavor and
Flavor?
yeah, do yourself a fucking flavor and check your shit. All right, don't pull a mic. All right.
Yeah, Geronimo. I was gonna say on Geronimo Allison. He kind of reminds me of, it was 3 years ago, I believe, or 2 years ago, when Jordy Nelson was the one, and Geronimo Allison still finished, or Devontae Adams still finished as like a top 16 receiver. That was like, he was on the waiver wire, I believe, until like week 5 or week 6. Like I remember specifically picking him up one league in week 5, and it was just he was getting production week in and week out. And at the end of the year, Devontae Adams was like a top 15 receiver, while Jordy Nelson was still a top 5. And I think you're seeing somewhat of similar of the same thing, just because he's tied to Aaron Rodgers. It's like, if you look, he got concussed last game, didn't play, but if you look his week in and week out production, I think it's going to be a similar scenario to where Devontae Adams will finish in the top 10, and Geronimo Allison will probably finish in the top 24, and he's just going to sneak his way into there, and no one's going to really know his name until the end of the year, coming into next year's draft.
Yeah, and he could be a guy who helps you win your fantasy championship. I mean, if you listen to us, in draft season when we were talking about players, Anthony touched on that, and you were talking about how the Packers, they could sustain 2 top 20 wide receivers. So Allison was that guy for sure. So, all right, those are the matchups right there. If you got any questions, you need some advice, you're asking for a friend like Mike. Jimmy, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Shout us out.
Make sure you start Geronimo if he's out.
When you said asking for a friend, I just was thinking, it's like, yeah, ask for a friend like you needed a friend, not like, never mind.
That's the mad scientist, Mike, right there.
This is the first episode you did with no glasses on?
Yeah, dude.
Bro, no wonder why you're just all over the place. Can't see straight.
Well, here's the thing: is that I do see straight, so I don't see color though.
Yeah, bro. Like blind kids can play football. You could do this podcast without your glasses.
Yeah, you're right. I can. And I did.
You came, you saw.
You conquered.
Yeah.
Good for you. Everyone, go follow him at Mike Marcano. Just tell him, hey, you did a good job today,
Michael Marcanio.
dude. Just tell him you did
I'm
a good
changing
job.
my name to Michael, not Mike.
I thought it was Michael Geoff Anro.
It's not. I'm gonna change my name to Michael because I feel like Michael is more. It just sounds better. Like when I tell a girl that my name's Mike, they're like, "Oh Jesus, fucking this kid's name is Mike. He probably is like does drugs or something."
Well,
but
you
then
should
if I
change
tell
your
them if I tell them my name's Michael, they're like, oh, "I think Michael has a 401k."
I think you should do it like
So I think I'm changing my name to Michael.
You should change your name to Michel.
I was gonna say Michael, like Michel, but Michael. My name is Michael.
Michael.
And
And here's my brother, Geoff.
Geoff.
Bro, his name isn't fucking Geoff. It's Jeff, dude.
You're a fantasy consigliere.
What?
Meet my fantasy consigliere, Michael.
Consigliere? What the fuck is a consigliere?
I don't even know what he says. That's something like that. Meet my fitness consigliere, Michelle. Meet my fantasy consigliere, Michael.
Consigliere is not a word, dude.
That's what he says.
That's what he says.
Consigliere?
And watch Dodgeball.
Dude, I've seen the movie, but there's no way he says consigliere.
We're keeping this on the air.
Yeah.
I'm YouTube.
This will be a bonus. We'll put this at the end after it's done.
All right, beer bet. If it's a word or not.
Okay, first of all, it's not a word.
Beer
Second
bet.
of all, it's not in the movie.
Beer bet is a
It's
word.
consigliere.
Dude, tell me what a
Beer
consigliere
bet
is.
it. Beer bet it, bro. If
I
you're
already
that
bet it. It's already locked in.
Hey,
There's no way consigliere is a word.
Laser. Taser.
I'm
In
trying
my
to.
fitness consigliere. Michel.
I don't even know how to spell
Dude,
consigliere.
this is so interesting. Just hearing Anthony type. Consigliere. If I had to guess, it would be CON. And this.
My fitness consigliere. You met my fitness consigliere, Michelle.
No, see, he says consigliere, which
That's
is
what I
different
said.
than a consigliere. That's what you said.
I said consigliere.
You said it wasn't even a word, though.
consigliere. You
But
said
it is a word.
It is a word.
Consigliere.
It's a
That's
word.
for sure a word.
You've lost the first beer bet of the year.
No, dude, wait. Look up what the word
Okay,
is.
Mikael.
That he made up that word in that movie, but look up what that word it means. What does that word mean?
Consigliere.
Yeah, that's fucking not.
like an advisor.
I'm literally calling you Mikael from now on.
Okay, but what is that word? I don't
It's
know.
like an advisor.
Why wouldn't you say advisor then?
Because consigliere sounds so much better.
Consigliere. Confidant. That's a word.
Welcome to the Average Bros Consiglieres.
Consigliere meaning. It's an actual word.
What
An
the
advisor, especially to a crime boss.
Told you, bro, because I'm fucking wicked smart over here, bro. I had my fucking coffee
Yeah.
today in the fucking
He's a
Protons
crime
and the
boss.
Cabo,
You know-
bro.
you know
You're
how
the
they-
consigliere.
fuck? You know how in Louisiana they speak French in some parts of it?
No.
There's like the French district. That's what like New Orleans is
Yeah.
okay, but anyways. Dude, I feel like that's a word that those like hillbillies in Louisiana made up, you know? Like that's what the consigliere sounds like.
Well, it's in Webster.
Fuck Webster. Fuck Geoff. Fuck Mikael.
Mikael.
Fuck consigliere.
Have you met my fantasy
Fuck New
consigliere?
Orleans. Tom Brady for the win.
Fucking Tom Brady.
Fucking Tom Brady. Okay.
All
right.
Plug us, Mike. What fall?
Yeah,
and
dude,
then-
come on.
I'm
Justin
gonna
wasn't
start-
here, so we
I'm-
couldn't do the plug, bro. He's the plug.
I'm gonna start.
wasn't here.
I'm gonna start adding that stuff in separately.
I'm
Then
a,
you
two,
just
I'm, a
push
two,
a
I'm a
button.
two-time fantasy champ
Yeah.
in the 5 and under league.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm undefeated in the kindergarten league.
yeah, dude. What the fuck, bro? We introduced him as the guy who's in last place, and then he started calling me last place. I was like, bro, that doesn't make any fucking sense. You're last place, dude.
He's acting like he knows stuff. He'd be like, "Yeah, bro, pick up Brait," because he's like, he's hurt. Brait? Who's that?
We had more surprise reactions on this show.
He was like, "What? Huh? What? Should I pick him up? Should I drop this guy right now? Or what do you think?" Like,
He just sitting on the podcast managing his team, like, okay, yeah.
he's like, "Okay, Geoff, put him in."
God, that guy sucks, dude. Just never
Get
invite him
better.
back on. You know what I mean?
All right, let's close this one out.
All right, that's it. Thanks for listening. I'm really gonna start doing the plugs separately. So I'll
Okay.
do,
All right,
yeah.
Mikhail.
I just felt like the editing process was too quick, so I want to add an extra thing in there.
For sure, bro. Yeah, that's why you're the fitness or the fantasy consigliere.
Bro, you see these
Mikhail.
fucking traps, dog? Fucking huge.
Did you see Mike's
dog.
face right there? He was like, "He looked hella Odell."
Who? Me?
Yeah, just talking about your cake manager days.
Dude, I fucking elbowed that guy one time.
Is that what you call
Is
it?
that what you call it?
Instead of like scissoring, you got the elbow.
Ah, dude, gay stuff, bro. It's so funny. Dude, hilarious, man.
All right, let's get out of here.
I'm out.
Average
so
Bros
funny.
Fantasy Football. Follow us on IG. We're on
Yeah.
iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube.
Follow us on
Average Bros.
Venmo. Follow us on Venmo, PayPal.
Yeah, follow us.
Send
on those.
us money, dude. We would love
Send us
that.
some questions. Send us some things so we could give you guys some, just like our opinion and stuff like that. And then if we do a good job, maybe shout us out.
Yeah.
We'll teach you guys
Do
some
that.
science.
Do that.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Love you.
Deuce,
Love you, baby. Love you, baby. I'll see you tomorrow, baby. Love you.